welcome to today's tip. Now, I have managed to combine my two favorite elements of craft and scrapbooking, and as you know, I love watercolors and I love embossing, and I've combined them to create a really beautiful embellishment, or you can even have it on the background of your scrapbooking page, whatever you desire. And it's really simple. The only thing in choosing the embellishment that you're going to use is I would choose a stamp that's got quite a lot of clear space on it. So if you see these two here, there's quite a lot of areas where the embossing powder will not go, and that means then that we've got space to put our watercolors. This particular one is really lovely, and it's great for embellishments, and it's great for card making, and it's just a really beautiful all-rounder. Right, just giving that a really nice saturation of my Versamark watermark stamp pad that I use for all of my embossing. And I'm going to use the silver for this. I could use gold, I could use clear, I could use, I've got a couple of other colours. I've got a nice pink one there, but I actually really want this to stand out. So that I can clearly see the lines. Now you can see with that one there that is pretty clear, and it's a lovely strong shape. Let me just heat set that. Now, one thing I should tell you as well, that this is watercolor paper. I have used watercolor paper. I'm sure normal cardstock would actually be okay. And I've just got a few colors here that I'm playing around with. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start from dark to light. So starting in the center of the flower and working my way up. My paintbrush is saturated with paint, a little bit of water, dry watercolor paper. So I'm not doing wet on wet, I'm doing a dry, and I'm putting my darkest color in the middle there. And in fact, I think I'm going to try and get some of the embossing powder in the middle of that flower. I can see that there's some holes in there, and I'm just moving my paintbrush around the middle there. And what I'm trying to do is just hoping that some of that paint will sink in. Can you see that? It's resisting the majority of it, but there's some areas there that the paint is actually going into. So that's good. Then what I'm going to do is just get my paintbrush, and I'm just going to get a little bit of water on each of the petals, and slowly, bit by bit, those darker colours will start to come out. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. I'll bring it in a little bit closer so you can see. I think I might just add a little bit of that yellow. I've mixed this yellow in with some of the red oxide. I just want to add a little bit more colour at the edge of that darker area. And it's bleeding out to the edge of those little petals, and I think it looks really pretty. I'm just going to dry that off, and then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, I've got one here that I made earlier, so you don't have to watch me cut it out. Exactly the same thing. And I've cut this one out using just a normal pair of scissors, and it's come up beautifully. Another thing that I just wanted to quickly show you is what we can do now if we wanted to, is once we've found where we want it on our scrapbooking page, we can just put the stamp behind it as a shadow and have this stuck up as a pop-up dot. So we can stick that just in the center of the flower, stick it down, and then have that stamped edge as the shadow. So when that sits on the page, you'll be able to see the shadow of the flower. Isn't that just gorgeous? Now you might want to add a stem, you might want to add it to your page like that. It's entirely up to you. Or you can just have it as an embellishment. I've done a little butterfly here that's really sweet too. So many ideas using the watercolors and the embossing powder. And yeah, I hope you enjoy making these embellishments for your beautiful pages. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.